Welcome to the Deep Dive, everybody. James here from TE Digital, and I'm with my awesome co-host, Tammy, also from TE Digital.
Hey, everyone.
So today we're diving deep into email marketing with you. Looks like you're ready to level up your email game, right? You sent us a ton of great stuff, articles, a video, even a whole guide on those digital marketing metrics. Clearly, you want to make those emails really work for your business,
Yeah, for sure.
and we're here to help.
Absolutely.
All right, so what's the mission of our deep dive today? I think we're going to break down those crucial email marketing metrics.
What do you think? Yeah, those are key.
Uncover industry benchmarks, those are always interesting, and dig into some really actionable insights. By the end of this, you'll know exactly how to make your emails really shine and deliver the result we're after.
That's the goal.
Sounds good.
Sounds great.
Awesome. And don't forget, make sure you subscribe to the Digital Marketing Post newsletter to get even more awesome digital marketing tips.
Yes, definitely.
Okay, let's kick things off by talking about, why is email marketing still so important? I mean, everyone gets a ton of emails, right?
Oh, yeah.
Is it really worth the effort?
Absolutely. I mean, one of the articles you shared from Constant Contact really emphasized this. They say that email marketing can actually generate, get this, like $36 for every dollar you spend.
Whoa, that's a pretty good return.
That's a pretty compelling ROI, I'd say.
$36 for every dollar. Man, that's making your email work for you. But I have to admit, when I think about email marketing, the first thing that pops into my mind is the open rate.
Oh, yeah.
Is that still the best way to know if you're doing well?
That's a great question. And honestly, it's something a lot of people get stuck on. But the truth is, open rates, they're not as reliable as they used to be. You remember when Apple came out with that mail privacy protection thing?
Oh, yeah.
That really changed the game.
Big time.
Yeah, it basically prevents senders from even knowing if people using Apple Mail open an email or not. So does that mean open rates are completely useless now?
Well, I wouldn't say useless, but we definitely need to change our focus a bit,
Right.
It's like an open doesn't necessarily mean someone's actually engaged with your email.
True.
They could just be glancing at the subject line and then hitting delete. We need to look beyond just the open and focus on things that really tell us how people are interacting with those emails.
Okay, that makes a lot of sense. So if we can't rely solely on open rates, then what metrics should we be looking at? What really makes a difference in email marketing?
You know what? That is a fantastic question, and that's what we're going to tackle next. Stay tuned. Okay, so we're back, and we're just talking about, how important it is to track those key metrics like open rates and click-through rates.
Yeah, absolutely.
And now it's time to get down to the nitty-gritty and figure out, how do we make those numbers even better?
Yeah, I like that. Get down to business. All right, so you sent over some really awesome resources, and they're full of fantastic advice on how to write those killer emails that people actually want to open and engage with. So where do we start? What do you think?
Well, maybe we could start with the content itself.
Oh, okay, yeah.
What do we actually put in those emails? I mean, is it just about, talking about our products and services, or is there more to it?
Well, you know what? It is a little more nuanced than that. I think it was in that video you shared, the one that emphasized how important it is to actually understand how your audience interacts with your content, like by tracking what links people are clicking within your emails.
Oh, yeah, I remember that.
That can actually give you some incredible insights into what's really grabbing their attention, what's making them click.
So it's like we get a sneak peek into their brain as they're reading our email.
Exactly. It's like we're seeing their thought process.
And we could use that to make even better content.
Exactly. And remember, the goal is to create content that, it's not just informing, but also really resonates with your audience, right? So you really got to think about their pain points, what are their needs, and how can you, products or services, actually provide solutions for those problems?
Yeah, that's key.
Instead of just sending out, generic sales pitches, really tailor your message to their specific interests and challenges.
Okay, so I'm getting it, tailor the content, make it engaging, and then use those click-through patterns to kind of refine our strategy. But how do we actually put this into practice? Are there any specific tips for writing better email copy?
Absolutely. You know that guide we talked about, your guide to digital marketing metrics?
Oh, yeah, the guide.
It actually goes beyond just the metrics and offers some really great advice on email content and design, too.
So it's like a one-stop shop.
Exactly. Yeah, and one of the things it stresses is having a really clear call to action.
Oh, right, okay.
Don't be afraid to tell people exactly what you want them to do. Do you want them to shop now, register today, download your free guide? Make it super obvious and easy for them to take that next step.
So don't beat around the bush, just get straight to the point.
Exactly. And don't underestimate the power of visuals either. People are just bombarded with information all day long, so you really need to make your emails stand out visually. You can incorporate images, you can use graphics, you can even use video to break up the text and make it just a more visually appealing experience for them.
Okay, visuals, clear calls to action, engaging content. Got it. But you know what I always struggle with?
What's that?
Subject lines.
Oh, yeah.
It's like so much pressure to make them catchy, make them interesting. I don't know. What do you think? Any advice there?
Yeah, I totally get it. I mean, subject lines are like the gatekeepers to your emails, right?
Yeah.
If they're not intriguing enough, people are just not even going to open it. One of the articles you sent, it actually suggested trying to use numbers or statistics in your subject lines.
Oh, that's interesting. Okay.
Yeah, because numbers tend to kind of jump out at people and they make your emails feel a little bit more data-driven and authoritative.
More credible.
Exactly. Yeah. Like, for example, instead of just saying, improve your email marketing, you could say 5 proven strategies to boost your email open rates.
Oh, I see.
It's just like a subtle little shift, but it can actually make a really big difference in terms of grabbing people's attention.
Oh, that's a great idea. I'm going to try that.
Yeah, yeah. And don't be afraid to experiment with like different styles.
Oh, okay.
Try using questions in your subject lines or even some humor, or you can even create a little sense of urgency to just pique people's curiosity and make them want to click.
Oh, that's good.
And remember, you can always do A/B testing on your subject lines to see what really resonates with your audience.
Oh, yeah, A/B testing. Can you remind me how that works again?
Yeah, sure. It's basically like you're running a science experiment on your emails.
Okay, yeah.
So you create 2 slightly different versions of your email, maybe tweak the subject line a bit, change the color of a button, adjust the layout, and then you send each version to a small segment of your email list.
So it's like a head-to-head competition
Exactly.
between 2 emails.
And then whichever version performs better, based on whatever metric you're tracking, whether it's open rates, clicks, or conversions, that becomes the winner. And that's the one you send out to the rest of your list.
Okay, so that takes out the guesswork.
Exactly. It takes out all the guesswork. So we've talked about the metrics, the content, those subject lines, the A/B testing. Is there anything else we need to know before we hit that send button?
I think we've covered the essentials, but there's one last piece of advice I think is really important, and it kind of goes back to something we touched on earlier, which is personalization. We've been talking a lot about data and all these metrics,
Yeah,
but at the end of the day, we're trying to connect with real people.
that's right. Yeah.
So, go beyond just using their first name in the greeting.
Oh, okay.
You can actually segment your list based on their interests or their past behavior,
Oh, cool.
and then tailor the content even further. Make them feel like they're getting an email that was specifically made just for them.
Yeah, personalization, that's the magic touch.
Exactly.
That makes a lot of sense. But before we wrap things up completely, I think we need to talk about industry benchmarks. How do we know if our email marketing numbers are even good? Like, are there any standards that we can compare ourselves to?
That's a fantastic question. And you know what? That is exactly what we were going to dive into next.
Okay, so we were talking about industry benchmarks, right? And like how to know if our numbers are actually good.
Yeah, those industry benchmarks, they really give us like a point of reference. How do we stack up against everybody else doing similar things?
Okay, I get it. So I'm guessing those industry averages are in one of these resources we're looking at?
You know it. You know me too well. Constant Contact, they put together some really cool data from, get this, millions of emails. It's a lot of emails. And you know what's really cool?
What?
You were spot on with those industries you mentioned earlier.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, they actually have benchmarks for childcare services, consulting, and food services.
No way, that's awesome. So spill the beans. What are the numbers saying? What, like the average open rates, click-through rates, all that good stuff.
Let's start with childcare. So as of December 2024, the average open rate for childcare services was 47.77%.
Okay.
The click rate was 1.34%, and the bounce rate was 10.86%. Now, for consulting services, the average open rate was a little bit lower, 33.27%.
Mm-hmm.
Click rate was 1.89%, and the bounce rate was 10.42%. And last but not least, for food services, we're looking at an average open rate of 34.65%, a click rate of 0.70%, and a bounce rate of 9.02%.
Okay, those are some interesting numbers, but it's not as simple as just saying, okay, I got to hit those exact numbers and then I'm golden.
Right. You got it. It's not that simple. While those benchmarks are a good starting point, like a guide, they're just averages. You know what I mean?
Yeah, of course.
And every business is different. You've got your own audience, your goals, your own specific content. So, use those benchmarks as like a general guide, but don't stress about matching them perfectly.
Okay, so it's more about understanding what those numbers mean for my own business.
Exactly. And remember, email marketing, it's all about like continuous improvement. Always analyze your results, experiment with different things, and just never stop learning and refining what you're doing.
Right, okay.
I think we've covered a lot today. We've looked at the big picture of email marketing, debunked some myths. I love doing that.
Me too.
Dove deep into those metrics that matter. And most importantly, I think we've uncovered a ton of actionable insights that you can use right away to improve how your emails perform.
Yeah, it's been a great journey, but before we go, why don't we leave our listeners with a little something to think about?
Ooh, I like that. Okay, so what's one metric you're going to focus on improving in your next email campaign? Is it your open rate, your click-through rate, maybe even your conversion rate? Pick one, make it your mission, and use everything we've talked about today to make it happen.
Absolutely. And don't be afraid to experiment. Try new things. The great thing about email marketing is you can always learn and improve. You might even surprise yourself with the amazing results you can get.
And of course, to stay on top of game in all things digital marketing, don't forget to subscribe to the Digital Marketing Post newsletter. We'll keep you up to date with all the latest trends and tips.
Definitely.
Until next time, happy emailing.
Bye, everyone.